All right, folks, we're going to be talking about this really interesting game I just watched. I saw this game when it first aired back in 2008 in the spring. This was the 2008 Eastern Conference semifinal between the Cavs and the Celtics. Off a year where the Cavs had incredible success, went to the NBA Finals, faced the Spurs, and got swept in some really close games. But this was supposed to be the stepping stone for the Cavs to get back to the NBA Finals to compete for a title after kind of showing that they were capable of getting there. Really, what they needed was LeBron to take the next step forward because the Cavs' defense was absolutely immense. And it actually only got better by adding some additional pieces in the offseason, like securing Ben Wallace in free agency, or I think it was a trade, but getting him on the team and the team having more, I guess, reconstruction to kind of help them. The addition of Delonte West, Wally Zerbiak to bring them some offensive weapons. Big Z playing great basketball. They actually seemed like they were built to make a playoff run, right? But they didn't because there was a player who was probably, I would say, responsible for one of the worst games I've ever seen. This is not about just being a bad playoff game. I would argue that it's probably the worst playoff game I've ever seen, but just ever a game. I've never seen anything like this. LeBron played so bad in game one in this opening game of the series. I could say with certainty, inarguable, he's the reason they lost this game. He was left alone on three-pointers, was given long jump shots. The Celtics did not respect him. Kept several feet between him and the defender, right? That's basically just gave him the shot. They went under everything. They went through some things. LeBron didn't fix anything from 2007. His shooting was still poor. LeBron, not just the shooting piece, but actually if you just think about how he was playing the game, tons of unforced errors, throwing the ball out of bounds, errant passes, ball going into the stands, multiple charges in the half court and the open court in transition, unable to handle the ball. The dribbling was terrible. Turnover after turnover, traveling violations. I mean, unusual things for a ball dominant player. Jump passes, leaving the ground with nowhere to go for no reason. Bigs were playing passing lanes and intercepting his passes. They kept trying to screen for him to get him open. It wasn't working. Bron got nothing going. Meanwhile, the Cavs outplayed the Celtics as a team, having better defense. They were better on the glass. They took care of the ball better than the Celtics. The Celtics had Kevin Garnett with a big game. We'll give him that. He was great. But Big Z was amazing. Big Z responsible for, I think, 10 of 18 shooting. He was the leading scorer for the Cavs. Perfect 6 of 6 from free throw, 2 steals, 2 blocks, having to defend and anchor the paint. Wally Zerbiak hit a couple of threes. Ben Wallace was amazing. 5 offensive rebounds. Big Z, 3 offensive rebounds. In fact, they won that part of the glass, getting them more possessions, giving them and affording them 7 more shots than the Celtics. But the final score, 76-72, a 2-possession game. A game where Bron went 2 of 18 from the field, 0 of 6 from 3. Outscored by Wally Zerbiak and Zydrunas Ilgauskas, who they call a bum. LeBron had 10 turnovers. That's 1 more than he had assists. Folks, Paul Pierce scored 4 points in this game. Ray Allen was scoreless. Leon Poe is one of the big contributors for the Celtics. I think Sam Cassell had a big game. What were the rest of the Celtics doing, though? I mean, Kevin Garnett was good, but Ray Allen did nothing. The Cavs held up their end of the bargain. LeBron did not. LeBron is responsible for one of the worst performances I've ever seen in an NBA game. Not just a playoff game, an NBA game. It was horrible. If you go back and watch this game, you are going to see a player who is self-imploding, a player who does not know what to do with the ball, doesn't know where to be, doesn't know how to find his spots, and just chucks up brick after brick after brick. And you know what? It's not really about him not making the shots. You take what the defense gives you and you kind of work through that. But this offense was broken. And that's because he couldn't contribute offensively. That's why the offense is broken, because they didn't respect what LeBron was doing, because they wouldn't just let him in the paint and get whatever he wanted, because they would not let him attack the basket without any type of resistance or, attempts at the blocks and challenges at the rim. They didn't give him what he wanted, and he did not fix his deficiencies, which was perimeter shooting and touch. Whether it was like on the baseline, you'll see some of those plays. You don't see any floaters. You don't see any hook shots. You don't see him enter the post. Having trouble on the perimeter. Guys just playing better than him and him having no answer. The Cavs lost by 2 possessions, and he played the worst game, in my opinion, in NBA history. I've never seen such an incredible player play this bad. If the Cavs would have won this game, this series went 7 games, it would have been completely different. The Cavs would have gone up 1-0 with a chance possibly even to steal game 2, go back to Cleveland with the series at least tied or up 2-0. Then they're probably the ones who go to the finals, because they would have played the Pistons in the following round and they had beat their asses last previous year. The reason why in 2008 the Celtics won the NBA final, got to the NBA finals and then continued to win on, is because they clowned LeBron in the 7-game series. And I'll make more videos about that later. But in this series, LeBron had maybe 2 good games. The rest of the series, he played mid to just awful. This is by far one of the worst games I've ever seen from LeBron, from an NBA player, a playoff performance, all the above. The Celtics weren't even good. They were good defensively, obviously. You hold a team to 72 points. But offensively, they were a clunker too. The Cavs should have had this game. The Cavs should have won this series. The Cavs should have gotten to the NBA Finals. We should have got a series between LeBron and Kobe. But clearly, LeBron went from 07 to 08 without making the necessary improvements to his game. And he choked away this series. As a Cavs fan, it was devastating watching these Cavaliers play it so close and put their team in a position to win these games. 5 of the 7 games the Cavs could have won. Legitimately. They either won them or could have won them. Fine. Give the Celtics the 2 games where they won by double digits. Fine. But LeBron lost this series. He is single-handedly responsible for this awful loss, and likely the reason why the Cavs did not get a chance to repeat as the Eastern Conference representatives for the NBA Finals. The worst performance in basketball history, clearly. Game 1, 2008 Eastern Conference Finals by LeBron.